Ooh, I'm going to wait a second and see if any viewers come on. But I'll tell you this is about to be, I mean, I got my hat on. This is about to be a heavy hitting, you heard it here first, conversation. God explained the plausibility, how all this is possible, how the 3 days of darkness will be a real 3 days of darkness, that it's really coming. And for those like me that are probably doubtful, if I see someone came on, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? But to those that may be, thank you. To those that may be doubtful, um, God said, we got to get the doubt out of here, because he gave me, I believe he gave me the year of the 3 days of darkness. And my father does this, like he gave me a breakthrough in my hair care product where, you could see it real good, and like it's going viral right now. Like it's getting, I've only put it up probably 20 minutes ago, and it's got, praise God, thank you. I only put it up about 20 minutes ago, and it's got over like almost 2,000 likes. But I know God gave me that breakthrough because he has this message. This ain't about locks. I know he gave me the lock thing to fish. I know that, right? Because he said, come follow me and you'll be fishers of men. And I've done that very thing. I've done everything that he's asked of me. Every single thing. Pick up thy cross, deny thyself, and follow me. That has been done. Oh, and for all those that know my backstory, I won't tell too much right now because, this ain't about that. But remember, God said, well, I guess it kind of is, but God said righteousness will keep you safe. And a lot of you know what happened in my family life. Well, the perpetrator was found guilty. Praise God. Praise God. And my daughter is healing and doing well. Like, not just healing and doing, that girl thriving. I'm very proud of her. Um, but yes, it has been a journey that I'm grateful for. I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm wiser, I'm smarter. And I want you to start saying that. God told me to tell you to start saying that. Like well, actually, he told me to tell you a couple things. So, and to go in a certain order, okay? Because this, like I said, I feel him. I feel him, and y'all know me. But he said, if anyone, praise God, he said, if anyone wants to give to this ministry, and the Cash App is $faithful wisdom. This is the first time I ever said, well, second time, but he said to say that at the beginning, because he said, I'm blocking people's blessings if I don't give them the opportunity to come to the aid of his people. And the verses he gave me for that was Matthew 10, verse 42, and Luke 6:38. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But and know this. He said, anyone that blesses me, he'll blesses this ministry. He'll bless you. And I know this, I'm praying for you, and I'm grateful for anyone that would take from what we're dealing with to give unto this ministry so they could keep going strong. So I thank you. But let's get to it. It's going to blow your mind. I got to talk to my Soros crew. I love y'all, and I'm grateful because I've seen God. I've seen the adversary, but whatever the devil means for your bad, God changes it around for your good. So I've seen, you guys rush. I'm gonna let y'all know this. I'm about to tell them the tea. The tea. Y'all ready for the tea? Okay. I'm talking about down to the purge. I'm talking about down to 23. Did you know the book 23 Minutes in Hell was talking about the tilt of the earth? God showed me that, and he said, subtract 100 from 23. You get 77. He said the earth is about to tilt to have a new focal point. That's what's about to happen. And I'm about to prove it in science. Come on now. So for my sorrows, I'm sorry, y'all. Just how about y'all watch? If I can't have no other viewers, y'all just stay with your girl because I got my hat on. So let me give the disclaimer. You know, just like someone would be into Comic-Con, I am into the Bible. I study and I run after God. And I think this is one of the greatest stories never told. And I feel like it is my right to tell this story. God told me that as long as you do what I say, the way I say do it, when I say do it, everything gonna be just fine. He told me that righteousness will lead the way. So I know that this is my right to tell humanity what's going on. You didn't do it. He literally says that several times in the Bible. God says it like your governor ain't gonna tell you about it. You know, like they're not gonna tell you. Go ask the king. He ain't gonna tell you. But he was talking about the 3 days of darkness. It's mentioned several times throughout the Bible. I've always known it was true, but I thought it was longer. I thought it was more like 3 years. So I might still be right there, but I'm not sure. I feel like it's just going to be 3 days now that I see the science behind it. Now that I see how it's plausible, I think it is only going to be about 3 days. And it really does go in order with the movement of Exodus. So I want to tell you this. Anyone who thinks that what we see happening is they wrote in a plan, like they wrote the Bible, so they wrote in a plan. Anyone that thinks that, I want my life to be a living sacrifice and testimony to let you know they ain't write me in the plan. There's so many of us. If you look, there's so many of us that can see exactly word for word and it's the people are giving the same message, but in part, just like God said he was going to do. So I'm just letting you know, if they wrote it, I'm letting you know God going to finish it, because I'm definitely uh like the one you didn't see coming. You get what I'm saying? I'm literally not, oh, I don't want to give the devil any praise, but just put it this way. I am sitting here and standing here doing exactly what he said do. With no pretense. You know, I've never ever tried to fake like I was super churchy or holier than thou. I am not. I am not. I am just a one person trying to tell everybody about somebody. I'm doing that short. Whew. And y'all know I still get nervous too, because the things I'm about to talk about, we about to talk about purge. We about to talk about proof in their timing. We about to talk about a lot of stuff. So bear with me. But God gave me, like, he just started downloading information to where he told me to just start writing. And this is what he said. The 3 days of darkness is connected to the core. Now, this is if you have a like star chart on your, not like star like astrology. No, I'm talking about actual night visualizing the stars. There's a great app. I think it's called, I don't know the name of it, but it lets you move things forward in time. Like you can, so go to the app store and look up, you know, star watching or stargazing or night sky, something like that, right? It's one of those ones where you can hold it up and it'll show you where stuff is at. But it also has it where you can move things. Well, this is what I found. There is a constellation called ANTLIA. Okay. They say it means water pump or air pump, right? But I'm going to tell y'all, look like antenna, right? Now, what this particular constellation does when you put the thing, like, let's just say you click on it, and I spelled it out. You click on it and then you push it in forward. Let's say you go forward in time every hour, okay? In a 24-hour period, like it looks like this, right? In a 24-hour period, it does this. Boing. Boing. It never makes a full rotation. It just goes boing. That's what that one does. And the east, like the southeast, west barometer floats between that constellation and another one called clock. I gotta try to spell it. Horo, my dog getting restless. HOROLOGUIM. That's the name of the other constellation. Now this one turns all the way around, right? But it whips every day at noon. Every day at noon, this thing whips. Now, because the app allows you to go forward and backwards in time, you could fix it on a certain day, right? And then go years in the past and years in the future. Well, I'm telling you, it makes sense for the sun will go down at noon, right? Because the way it flips at noon every day, it does that. So that tells me, one, it's plausible. That makes it plausible just by the concept of science, guys. Oh, that's another thing. It's also seemed like the way the planets move along the planetary line. It's like if a person was skating or rocking. But I'm telling you that rock happens at noon. You get what I'm saying? That whip happens at noon. So now this is making sense. So remember what else I told you guys when they first said the core of the earth. Well, actually, let's back up before then. Remember, I predicted, God showed us that the gamma ray, the Gamiel, that this radiation was coming towards us and winter wasn't coming. And we were correct. Praise God. Praise God. So now you know, like, we're really telling the truth, right? Go back and look at these videos because all this stuff God has had us say throughout the time. So I'm sorry, this dog throwing me off. Go lay down. Go lay down. Dika, down. Sorry, guys. She just throwing me off her click, 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 click. Lay down, down. Okay, you don't listen. I said lay down. Okay, sorry about that. And she got back up when I sat down. You're throwing me off, dog. Let me get back to this. Go lay down. Didn't I say go lay down? Now stay. You heard me. Okay, I'm sorry. She was throwing me off. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't think. All right. And the powers that be don't want me to tell you the truth. Oh, because that's enough. You could see that they have been planning for a much dumber society. You can tell. You can tell. This plan that they've hatched wasn't for those that the spirit has been poured out on. I see why the mark of the beast makes so much sense. I see why they had to fund back everybody, because this plan, you could tell it wasn't they really think we're the dumbest of the dumb. Okay, so with that being said, in the night sky, let's get back to the night sky. There we go. In the night sky, the Polaris is a center point, right? I want you to think about the way God works, okay? And the way he works is where his face is upon, like those that love him, like picture a sunflower. Okay, you know how the sunflower stares at the sun? Yeah, that's because the sunflower needs, like, the God of the sunflower is the sun, right? But God been telling me they are after stealing us. That's the point for the Ten Commandments, was so that we didn't get stolen. Uh, uh, it wasn't to control us. It was so that these entities, species that ain't human, that are stronger than us. Real talk, they are. But they're not stronger than our God, meaning they're infinite creatures. You get what I'm saying? I know it's hard. It's so hard, but that's why we got our hat on, so that I could just tell you this stuff. You could take it at face value, but I'm telling you, bloodthirsty are what they are. It happened in 1644, the year of their Lord. I showed you this. This was also the same time that America, they landed here, right, is what they say. But there is a serious discrepancy. Uh-oh. I don't know if something happened, but anyways, there's a serious discrepancy between 1609, because that's when they so-called got here, I'm guessing. I'm not sure, but between 1492, 1609, and 1644. And that is at the same time that they took over. And like, look at all the movies. Look at all the TV shows. Don't it look like somebody trying to tell you their history? Like they want to be able to walk in the light and tell you who they are. Like, did you notice TV shows now are called that one Vamps, right? And then they had Vlad in there. Then they did another one with Vlad, the Impaler. Then they did another one. And then Elon Musk dressed up as them. So let's not act like we don't know that they're bigger than us, because we know what they are, okay? And you got the right to know that that kind of thing exists. You do. You got that right. Especially considering that when these 3 days of darkness come, it makes sense about this concept of purge. It makes sense. The wise will shine like the dawn, because we're going to glow. Real live black light glow is what God said. Real talk. Okay? So let's get back to the names of these constellations, right? So Polaris, that's what I was trying to explain to you. Picture teacups at Walt Disney World, okay? And whoever you're after, right, is where you're looking. The way the planets rotate going that way, right? Whatever that way is, it's creating a cord from Polaris. Now, for all y'all New Agers, now mind you, I don't ascribe to New Age, because I don't ascribe to, like, bet nobody astral project in front of me and nothing like that. But they all say they've seen a cord. And I'm letting you know there is a cord from Polaris to us. But here's what you don't know. If you look at the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper in the sky, their tails look like a galaxy. You know how the galaxy have those wings on the end, where one went that way and then the other one went that way, that kind of thing? So God told me to take, if that's our focal point, that star never changes. He told me to look at its counterpart, right? And what does that mean for that star never to change? Now, I want you guys to know this. They're telling us these lies about the way, they're telling us truth and lies. It's the planets move in the galaxies, truth and lies, okay? So they talk about the tilt, which really is the reason why we have seasons. But the tilt is like the drag of any, it's like they think we don't have a high school education at least, right? So we know, and if any of you watch, what's his name? Oh, what's that one guy who does the earthquakes? He the one who really showed me how that worked. Is there's like this plane and there's this like picture a drain, and so there's a drag. You get what I'm saying? That's the only reason why all of them would be doing this from there, from Polaris, right? So God told me, look at the Big Dipper and the Small Dipper. Their handle, the last point on both, like the handle part. Are y'all Dutch sense? You with me? Yes. Dutch sense is the, like, you know how you always be showing how stuff move in weather and in just different things, and that makes sense because if you think about the momentum of where we're going that way, but we're coming from somewhere, and that place ain't never moved. You get what I'm saying? So the end of the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper, okay, have a point. I wish I could point. That looks, it almost looks like the fish symbol. Y'all know that the fish chasing each other symbol. So the Big Dipper like this, hold on, and then this one is like, I can't draw, but y'all kind of get it. Y'all kind of get it, okay? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Actually, what made me notice it was Libra is up like that too. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, look like they're all telling the same scared your life story. You give them the constellations seem like they're telling this story of this tragedy because which makes sense. If people gotta figure out a way to tell people, you know, and they're traumatized by it. I know how traumatized I am by the things in my world. So if something like that happened, I would literally be looking at the stars and clouds and everything like, why, God? You get what I'm saying? So it makes sense. So Libra ain't just sitting like this, right? Libra is sitting the same kind of way as if one through the other, okay? The other end, let me tell y'all what that other end is, okay? Which is, this is the name of it. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's supposed to be an A. Okay? So that's the name. They trying, come on now, Soros crew. Just let the Soros crew rock. If they don't want me to tell, y'all got to know I'm a tell. Okay, I'm like Orlando Brown crazy when it come down to gon' tell. I'm gon' tell, okay? So I hope the powers that be just block it to where only me, I could talk to my Soros people then. Okay, that's fine. But, okay, so this is the name of the star. Okay, that's the name of the star that is at the end of the... Now, guess what that star does? Now, mind you, that star is like a huge star when it comes to rituals and old... that history, right? So it does ritual because it doesn't set. It does it honestly looks like a... like, I don't even know what to explain. It don't go around the world or anything. It literally just does a circle. It's like, you know how, I don't know if you saw that video of a rainbow that made a full circle. That's what this star does. It doesn't go like, so now we see stars that ain't doing what other stars do. You get what I'm saying? Now, I done told you about Antalya that does a whip back at noon every day. Every day it does a whip back. Now, it don't just go, it literally, it goes like this. This is what that star I'm telling y'all about. Go look it up. That constellation, actually. It's Antlia, okay? Oh, I got people coming to see the house. I want to make sure they ain't here yet. But it does this. This is what it does. Every day. And then at noon, it does this. It starts going about like that. And then at noon, it goes whoop. That's what that star system does. So now that's making sense, okay? You gotta go pay it, go check that out. Let me calm down. I'm sorry, they messed me up when they shut down my video for a second there, because I'm upstairs. Y'all know I've been living in my basement because I'm trying to sell the house, but I fear not. No, because we got the right to tell. Like, because everybody ain't, like, who gonna do something? I know I'm gonna do something. Maybe you'll do something. Maybe not. Maybe this is just fangirl. And that's why I wear the hat. Is so you could feel better. You know what I mean? To say, oh, she ain't mean it. She didn't, it wasn't real. Okay? So this makes sense too for the whole concepts of arches. Remember how the is all into arches. Oh, guess what else? The tail, it's that's the name. It's the dragon's tail. That's so they call it the Big Dipper, but the Big Dipper really is the end of the dragon's tail. Why they ain't tell us that? You know what I mean? Like all the while I'm learning about the Big Dipper, I didn't know that it was a part of a dragon's tail. Yeah. So, and this is possibly where, guess what? Now mind you, I don't follow, like, I'm one of those people, I don't take nothing you tell me to heart until I go study it, right? You get what I'm saying? So, you know, when they start talking about Anunnaki and stuff, I literally be like, whatever, I ain't on it. I ain't on it. I'm not on it. You get what I'm saying? That's where they at. They call them the seven sages. So they part of that. Interesting. Interesting. So that's making a lot of sense, okay? So I hope you guys are getting the picture. I know it's a lot of different pieces, but you gotta see these pieces and go look them up, right? So remember, I looked at a documentary. The moment that they said that the core of the earth had paused, I went to go look at a documentary to see what would happen. You get what I'm saying? You know how they got those what ifs, you know, or History Channel would say, you know, ways the world would trip. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to look for symptoms. Remember, I took a lot of logic classes and passed them all with A's, okay? To the point where I listen like a lawyer. I don't listen like everyone else. You get what I'm saying? To where, like, I'm not looking at it to say, look at the devastation. No, I'm looking at it to say, what are the symptoms of this? Okay, what matches up? What doesn't match up? You get what I'm saying? So everything that uh documentary has said would happen, and I'm talking about even down to the animals up in what were they up in Siberia, I can't think of caribou, even up to even down to the caribou. Everything that documentary said was gonna happen has happened. Down to Canada being evacuated due to floods. Like every single thing that thing said was gonna happen has happened. The flooding, the water receding. Y'all remember, y'all saw it recently with, they said it was due to a hurricane. But I'm telling you, that type of water receding from the Gulf, like, because that's what they said in the documentary was that as the earth starts slowing, the water at the equator is going to flood up into the upper, you know, the poles, right? And so until the permafrost, which now that makes sense for the mudfloods, till the permafrost starts thawing out, which brings all that sediment close. Oh, almost forgot to tell y'all. It's hard to tell y'all this. Y'all, you might want to turn channel. God told me when this thing happened, the moon is going to hit Earth. I know. I know. But he told me it's going to be a magnetic charge when the sediment goes down. When the permafrost thaws and the sediment goes down, there's going to be a magnetic reaction between the moon and the earth, which is going to jumpstart the earth again, but at a new a new 23 degree, which is 77 degrees tilt from here. So everybody keeps saying, and what happens if the earth shifts 90 degrees? Well, I'm letting y'all know it's about to shift 77 degrees. 77 is what God said. And that's another thing. He said the 23-minute the book 23 Minutes in Hell was about the 3 days of darkness and about this year, basically, that this catastrophe is due to happen. And he told me to read to you Exodus. He told me to read to you Exodus to show how it's all happening in order and sequence as it happened in Exodus. I'm guessing the people didn't come. I don't know. Somebody tell me what time it is in Cleveland. I ain't my phone on there and there's no time on it. Somebody tell me what time it is. I had people that was coming here at 6:30, but it looks like they didn't come. I was gonna just go sit in the car and talk to y'all. But here we go. Let's get to Exodus. See if somebody tell me what time it is. It'd be a blessing. So he literally showed, I'm going to jump through this, okay? But here's how I'm going to jump through it. It got to have happened. If it hasn't happened in any shape or form, right? If it hasn't happened in any shape or form, I won't go past it. But from the plagues of Egypt, let's go. Let's see. The first plague, the waters become blood. That has happened. All around the world, that has happened. Okay? The second one is the frogs. Thank you. They said it was coming at 6:30. Thank you. The second one was the frogs. That has happened. I literally saw, I think it was in Wisconsin, this lady's yard was covered in frogs. That has happened. The lice, remember, I work here in, I used to work here in Cleveland for the foster care department. And one of the things that was going on at that time was super lice. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember hearing about that? There was an actual company that was sent out for like where people who had money paid big money to come out because, something would happen with lice. There was a super lice. Get over there and lay down. Go. There was a super lice, I want to say in 2019. You know what I'm talking about? The next one was the flies. Those nets. Oh my God. Because it says flies, but they were nets. Y'all remember to where I was swarmed with nets they would call them in drain nets or whatever. That's happened. So any shape or form, it's happened. And it's never happened before. I'm 42 years old, and it's the first time I'd have never seen nets be like this. The livestock diseased and died. Yep, happened. It's been happening. Yeah, they said it on the news. It was like a ridiculous number of livestock just dropped dead, right? But they said it's something about the sun or something, but it happened. Boils. Yep, it happened. Monkeypox. It happened. Yep, it happened. Hail. It has happened. Like I saw real hail in Italy that was literally breaking windows. And was that Italy? Like, so I know that one's happened. Anybody, I want to know, anybody agree with that one? I don't know. Like, I don't know if they've showed us if it's happened on a scale, but I know it's happened. But let's go past it just to show y'all the last one that is left is the 3 days of darkness. Okay, the locust. Let's go to the locust. I know the locust happened. Why? Because one landed on my window. I have the picture. I'm going to post the picture here on YouTube so you guys can see. Landed on my window here in Cleveland, Ohio. To the point where I said, my dad was alive then. This was in 2020. I said, Daddy, there's a locust on the window. Real talk. And Daddy was like, no, there ain't. It's a cicada. I said, no, it's not, Daddy. It's a locust. I took a picture of it, went down there, and my daddy went, oh, that's a locust. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to put it up there for y'all to see. With my own eyes. I ain't got no reason to create hyperbole. I've seen it. So the 8th plague has happened. The 9th plague, darkness. That's the only one that ain't happened. It's going in order. That's the only one. The firstborn comes after that, which matches, because it says the death of the firstborn happens in chapter 11. So first the darkness happens, then the death of the firstborn. And God told me that that was the purge, that they're coming bloodthirsty. Remember I told you when I first started doing the concept of I think it was a hat or something, I was like, there's no way for me to prove this. But God told me that when that time comes, protect blood. Protect blood. That's what he said. Like, if your dog, like, not if, because God also told me that all the women, when it happens, are going to menstruate. That's what he said. And he said, we got to protect the blood. He said, dispose of it to where nothing can smell the blood. That's because that's what they're after is the blood. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Okay, so with that being said, the 9th plague is the next up because all of the other ones happened. So we got the 9th plague of darkness. Then after the 9th plague of darkness comes the firstborn. Now, but let's keep going. I'm going to keep jumping through this with you because I want you to see something. So the last one is the death of the firstborn. Then the Pharaoh says, go, right? They get probably 7 days away, right? And on the 7th day is when the seas part. This makes sense, right? Because remember I told you, now it all comes together. Earth doesn't stop rotating. The permafrost, mud floods, the moon governs the night, right? Come on, y'all. The moon governs the night is what the Bible says, okay? So that's what's going to happen when it's night, because it's, and that's another thing, because it's due to the slowing of the earth. Now it makes sense for why everybody on earth is going to experience it at the same time, right? The magnetic field of the moon, like God was showing me those craters. God said that those craters come from them doing that, the earth doing that with it. Like, that's the real binary system, is the earth and the moon. That's what he said, that they gonna do that. Real talk. But about 7 days later, that's when the flood is gonna come, about 7 days later, okay? Because that's when the seas part. You see what I'm saying? To where people going to be able to walk up out of here. Or you get what I'm saying? Like if you in Miami, according to the documentary, let's say you were in Miami, you be able to walk over the water out of there is basically what they showed. Okay. Wait, what else? Okay. I hope y'all with me. I hope y'all with me. Okay. But it's all plausible. It makes sense now. And they're talking about it. So we can't deny it if they're telling us flat out all the stuff that's going to happen. And then they're the ones that taught us momentum in elementary school. Velocity. They're the ones that taught us these things. They were banking on none of us remembering centrifugal force. I can never say that word. Centrifugal force. You get what I'm saying? I think they were banking on none of us having the sense to remember how these things work, but to act like the things that they're telling us does not have consequences. For every action, there's an opposite yet equal reaction. So to think that the things that they're telling us, nothing is going to happen, that right there is insanity. It's full-fledged insanity. So what God was saying we need to do about it. The food, water, warmth. Food, water, warmth. Food, water, warmth. Okay? That is your number, especially water. Especially water. Go get $10 worth of water. Like, buy extra water. Water is going to be the Amos 8 literally says that the young people are going to be thrust going nomadically. Remember I told you, God said we was going to be nomadic at one point. Nomadically searching for water. Get water. Get water. Please get water. Also, when this thing happened, the reason why we're going to have to go after water, that's going to be the only living food. That's why now does it make sense why we can eat fish without warming it up? Like without cooking it? Because that's the only thing we're going to be able to eat when that happens. And that's the only food that will be alive when that happens. Even the trees going to die. Only thing that's going to be alive is what's in the cold ocean. Because the whole world going to get a cold ocean. So now doesn't it make sense now? Ooh. What else? So remember I said the 23 is about the tilt of the earth is tilted 23 degrees. This is year 23. This is the first year after the chapters of the Bible, like the last chapters and books of the Bible, okay? It would trace. They keep talking about 90, but the 77 that's coming. The book of the Emerald Tablets talked about this. Now, mind you, remember I told you, we are not churchy here. We are researchers. You get what I'm saying? I believe in God. I'm in love with God. And I believe that his word is true. So even if you took his word and tried to say something with it, if I know, like, if I flat out say that ain't about you, that's about God, or God wanted me to know, you get what I'm saying, and define the words, then I can take it as valid, even though Thoth said it. Who gives a crap of who Thoth is? My God said, not my God. You get what I'm trying to say. I'm tired of dealing with churchy people. Please forgive me. That's who persecutes the saints, other saints. Y'all that got ears to hear what I'm saying. That book talked about when Alexandria sunk. And it said because the balances were shifted. Because man did stuff they weren't supposed to do. So the balance was shifted. That's what this seems to be on. If Al-Qaeda becomes our center point, that is 77-degree tilt. It's literally a laying down, like before, like the earth. If the earth has a face, the earth will literally have to lay down, basically. Okay, this is super important. God said you can tell that their timing is off. If you're a parent and you got children, right? You know how your children will say, they'll come in and say, Mom, we got a problem with the so-and-so. I'm going to go handle it. If you know that child don't never handle certain things, they just told on themselves. If you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about, okay? That's what the powers that be have been doing with a lot of this stuff. You know, from the balloon, right? I got drones looking in my house. You get what I'm saying? Every day I see drones all around here. But you're using military force to shoot down a balloon. Their timing is off. You get what I'm saying? God said, you could, not to sound bad, please forgive me. But he said, don't you know, please forgive me, but I got to explain it this way, okay? I'm about to say something controversial, but I mean no harm. But you know how autistic people are off about social cues. The fallen angels and because that's who they are, okay? The bloodthirsty ones are off because they are eternal. God, you could tell they're eternal because of the way they're off when it comes to timing. You get what I'm saying? It's like we got time, like we don't got time to spare, so our mind's moving faster than theirs. Their mind is based on admiration. They got tons of time. It's almost like not knowing how to play double dutch. It's almost like not knowing how to play double dutch. You know how you double dutch, you gotta jump in at the right moment. They don't know how to do that because their timing is off, is what God told me. And God said, use that to so that you could see for yourself how all of this lines up. But a lot of the things they did too soon. You get what I'm saying? They need prophets to tell them timing. You get what I'm saying? But other than that, that's kind of probably why Trump got knocked out too soon. You get what I'm saying? There's certain what someone said, my son has autism, but we all have fallen DNA in us at this point, just keeping it real. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not. That wasn't my intention of saying autistic, no, because ADHD, I'm an ADHD person, and that's the parent. You know what I mean? It's like when they gave us those vaccinations back then, that was a what they call that experiment where some of us became ADHD, other ones became autistic. You get what I'm saying? So no, that's not what I was saying. I was saying it more in a relatable of saying, you know how they have a hard time doing certain social cues. So you can see that it's something's uncomfortable to them, or you can see they didn't get the joke. You can see that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? Or how my mind won't stop racing. You can see it. So that's what I mean, is that when it comes to the fallen angels, you can see that they're eternal because they jump in at the wrong place over the wrong thing. Like almost socially awkward when it comes to intelligence. You get what I'm not intelligence, but you get what I'm saying. Social intelligence. You get what I'm saying, to where you could tell they have no regard for us. That's why they're missing the timing. You get, so if this was marketing, um one of the things in marketing, like a best marketer does bottom up marketing. It's because they pay attention to what the people want, then they give the people that. They don't give the people what they want to give the people. And you can see that they're doing that. They're doing top down marketing. They're doing the opposite, which is top down marketing. And that means there's an agenda of a head somewhere that don't care how we feel, that don't care that uh just don't even care that their timing is off. So that's something I noticed. Okay. Someone said my son stopped talking 5 days after his first. My cousin too. Her child became nonverbal like about the same amount of time afterwards. About the same amount of time afterwards. There's a documentary, which of course they badger. They use the saints to persecute the saints. So they'll make you go, oh, that's controversial or conspiracy. Go watch it for yourself. Go pay for it because they've banned it. but it's called Vaxxed. So I had to say it in order to tell the people about it, you know. But I'm trying not to get too far blocked, but it's a thing. They've done this. This is the X-Men generation. All those vaccines were X-Men stuff. And we all do got different powers. And I'm one of them. When it comes to ADHD, I'm telling you, I feel like a genius sometimes. Like, but I can't, my mind, every video you see about an ADHD person forgetting stuff, losing stuff, doing, working on 17,000 things at once, I got it going on. And many of you got these different things going on, but that's why they called us the X-Men generation. You know that we're Generation X because we are the X-Men. You know what I mean? We were experimented on like that. And but remember what I said, for the YouTube, so that y'all know I'm trying to get monetized, so that way, we'll get YouTube to pay the bills. So we don't want them to get too mad at me. This is all fangirl. We have the right to be fans of the Bible and history, right? We got that right. So, take it at face value, or if you got ears to hear, you hear what I'm saying. But if you don't got ears to hear, that story, ain't it? Right? So we got to put that out there for the YouTube, create, I don't know what they are for the company. Okay? So this is very, very, very important. Sunset. They're actually getting rid of daylight savings this coming in November. When it's time to change again, they're not changing it. That's one of the ones where they're off. They did that first. They shouldn't have told us that. They should have let the earth stop spinning and then told us they were going to stop daylight savings time. That would have been something easier. But now I see you knew. You get what I'm saying? Now, because that's them stopping daylight savings time would hide the fact that it's slowing. I'm just saying plausibility, guys. None of this is definitive. I know nothing, but it's plausible now. And that's what a good citizen recognizes when our families are at stake. Okay? All right, so sunset, daylight savings time. Start watching sunset. I think those are the people. It makes sense after reviewing the DARPA patent regarding the nanotech and inducing. I'm telling you, it is so true. And then remember the constellation that I was telling y'all about? Why is it apart, like it's sitting right next to the Hydra? There's a constellation called Hydra. I didn't even know that. But the one I'm telling y'all, the Heliogram and stuff, and the Antilia, go look. They're sitting right there. Hold on, I want to make sure these ain't the people. And if they are the people, I want to know. Yeah, these are the people. Okay, y'all, stay tuned. I got so much more to tell y'all, because like he gave us exactly how to watch for it. It's literally by clocking the sunset, and acknowledging the daylight savings time. But he told me, which I guess this is a good time to come back, because I got to do a video about the music industry in Orlando Brown, because he said, we're at fault. We're at fault because all of them are saying it, but we're not listening. We refuse to believe that anything like that is happening. But that young man, like, we got to be crazy in order to even say the stuff. So if somebody's willing to go crazy, lose everything, the whole nine, to say the stuff, then we didn't feed them when they were hungry. We didn't do what Christ told us to do. So I just want to put that out there. And I gotta go. I'll be back soon though, once these people gone.